Well, it's finally happened, everybody. Donald Trump and two out of three of his evil spawn have testified under oath in the fraud case in New York. I am so excited with how badly it went for them.
It went really bad.
And I love the fact that they're trying to make it look like it went great. And let's admit, I get a kick out of every time Donald Trump's like, this case should be dismissed, like new evidence and like
Yeah, okay.
testimony. Like, dude, the case is over, man.
You know, it doesn't. Well, they're still bitching about the fact that there's no jury. Like, I could imagine that he might not understand it. That that Alina Habba actually caused this for him. But like, at least she's like gonna grift and pretend it isn't her. But man, every time they're like, no jury trial, no jury, you did that to yourself. Exactly. You and your bargain basement lawyer.
I know, we get paid way too much money. All right, so welcome back. I'm Jeremy Baker. With me, as always, is Mike Foligno here to talk about, of course, the New York fraud trial, which I gotta say has quickly become my favorite trial. I didn't even think anything much of this trial until it started, and I saw how epically bad it was going to be. And I think the number is going to be way higher than $250 million. I think.
Well, the guy's acting like a turd every single day in court. And like, he's literally at this point, the judge is like, don't piss me off. And Trump is like, I'm going to piss you off. And it's like constant. So like, he's going to, and the best part is that since it isn't a jury trial, everything is up to the judge. That's legally how it works. When you forego a jury trial, the judge can literally hold everything against you that you do.
Yeah, and keep in mind, Alina Habba effed up or fucked up, and she didn't do your paperwork correctly, and that's the only reason there is no jury trial, which is probably going to. I mean, back when this first happened, and I found out about this, people were calling it the $1 billion mistake. So let's see if it actually lives up to its
name. I would like to see that.
I know. I think it will. I think it's going to be close. All right. So anyway, let's start with Don Jr. So this is how Don Jr. started off the day, and then we'll go into his response, his tough guy response afterwards. So here's him being a tough guy in court. It's the perfect setup for this video.
Just watch it the very end. Makeup. No one laughed. Everyone's like, look at him. He's like looking around for a laugh.
I should have worn makeup.
I had to play it again. I'm sorry.
Look at him.
Yeah.
Oh, sheesh.
How's it going so far?
Hey.
No, it's not going good at all.
It's funny because not that Senior Trump taught anything to his kids. They just absorbed whatever existence he projected onto them. But you could tell Donnie Jr. is just a grifter as well, and he's even worse than his shitty grifting dad. Because did you see him just constantly looking around for any shred of a reaction by anyone in the courtroom?
It was dead silent.
Like, even Alina Habba, who is, I don't know, somehow Team Trump, didn't even crack a joke. I mean, I don't know that she was there at that exact moment, but no one around even laughed. And at the end, he was like...
Yeah, again, we have to reinforce the fact this is one of the hypocrisies that that drives us nuts is the fact that MAGA hate, they despise drag queens, but they support a family, of men that are covered in makeup.
Which so I don't care about. We are not.
No, I mean, whatever.
If we want to wear makeup, wear makeup. I don't give a shit.
It doesn't affect me one way or the other. You know what I mean?
But I'll tell you what. Yeah, you're right. Their whole ideology is we're the manliest men that could ever men. Okay, but then by your own definition, men that wear makeup are less than manly men. So are you just a hypocrite? Oh, that's right.
Exactly. So anyway, let's come to him. He's when he comes out, he has a lot to say after it's over, and he can just vent.
Purely a political persecution. The banks in question made hundreds of millions of dollars. I mean, think about this, right? They are not claiming that they are victims. They are not saying that they were misled. They are saying that they did their own due diligence. But that doesn't matter because I guess in the attempt to get Trump,
he's like trying to get out of his own way
and try to make more millions for the biggest banking
dumber than his
institutions
dad.
in the world who have already made millions. I mean, I think it's a truly scary precedent for New York. For me, for example, before even having a day in court, I'm apparently guilty of fraud for relying on my accountants to do, wait for it, accounting.
Okay, so this was his strategy. He basically was just pointing the finger at everybody else. That's basically what both of the strategy was, and it just backfired in epic fashion. And they come out with the thumbs up, acting like everything went great. And it's just the arrogance and the entitlement of this family, the amount of stuff they've gotten away with, and now have the audacity to, now it's a political persecution. No, it's because you've defrauded. I mean, just the bank thing alone, where he says banks made hundreds of millions of dollars. Well, they found out during the case how much more money the banks could have made had the financial statements been accurate. And I think it was $164 million more the Trumps should have paid in reality based on their accurate numbers. Now, that is obviously fraud. And then Trump, his big defense is, oh, well, my financial statements are conservative. I'm actually worth way more money than that. But here's the thing. When you go for bank loans, you put yourself in the most positive equity position possible to get the most favorable terms.
It wouldn't make sense to screw with the people lending you money because you want the money, which the more you get, the more your property's worth. The more that's
right. So yes, while they paid hundreds of millions of dollars in interest over the years, I'm sure, but we're talking on a whole different level of interest. You know what I mean? But $164 million is a lot of money. So I'm sure that might hopefully gets added to the total. The total running bill here, where they're starting a tab. So then Eric comes in and just woo. And now I've been watching interviews like after he gave his testimony. I mean, he's been labeled like the dumbest Trump. He is
dumb.
They've called him doofus. And he said in his deposition and in court that I pour concrete. I don't pay attention to stuff like this. Like this.
I want a shirt that just says "I pour concrete."
Yeah, I pour concrete. like he's never poured concrete in his entire life.
My God,
he probably doesn't even know how to pour concrete.
For a family that can't get enough of being on camera and being recorded, there is no group of criminals or humans, for that matter, that should ever be recorded, because everything they say is so dumb and so incriminating. It's fascinating. Like, for history alone, I can't wait. I hope I live long enough to be able to watch these videos and just laugh, and not like I'm laughing now, but I also just am angry still. But man, it's such comedy, but it's so sad.
I mean, you can tell I can tell, obviously. I mean, I wish other people would see it, that these guys have gotten as far as they have in life only because of their last name. They have no actual talent. They don't know anything. They don't know accounting. They don't know investments. They're not fund managers.
If they knew anything about anything, they would throw out word salad that was at least prepared by an expert chef. What they're doing is just grabbing a bag off the shelf and like rubbing a tomato on it. And they're like, I made a salad. Like, they're not, because even if they could just bullshit with some sort of terminology or something that they had an expertise on to make it sound like it makes sense, maybe once broken apart by other legal minds and people in the business world, they'd realize it's bullshit. But like, when everyone on the planet that isn't a MAGA can look at you and go, that's not how business works, that's not how accounting works, you're screwing up really bad.
Right.
Like,
and all of them have admitted openly in court, I believe, and in depositions, that none of them have any knowledge of generally accepted accounting principles.
Yeah, they always go, well, we attended business school. Yes, you go to business school, and then once you do that, you go into your specialization to become a specialist in a field of business. That's where you get your actual education. Like, but they constantly cannot answer the simplest questions. What's general accounting principles? What? Like, that's basically what they did.
What kills me is they both were in charge while he was president. Didn't he sign everything over to them? And they were like, he put these morons in charge. All right. So anyway, let's go to this is Eric Trump's deposition he gave. It's just comical.
To the best of my knowledge, I really haven't been involved
with anything.
With thinking. Guy.
In appraisal work on this property.
He reminds me of like Butthead
Are
or
you
Beavis
saying
from
that this
Beavis and Butthead.
engagement
Oh yeah.
could have happened without your knowledge and approval?
I'm just saying I don't remember this.
I do a lot of
I'm
drugs.
not on here. I
He's
never
so
signed
not
this
good at-
document. I just don't seem to recall anything about this. You know, it's
Here it
I
is.
pour concrete. I operate properties. I don't focus on
Paperwork.
appraisals
Guy, is he
between
glitching?
Accuracy.
Yeah, I don't focus on like business
It's
stuff.
it's not what I do.
I
in my
don't
day-to-day
do
responsibilities.
business. I'm
Yeah,
really
we
just
don't-
the janitor. Like, I mean, my name's on it, but you know, we're the type of people we'll do anything. You know, we like to just pick up the screwdriver and get the work done. We don't do like the business stuff of it.
Yeah. You know what? And I'm glad we didn't wait until I can't wait till tomorrow because Ivanka's gonna be the icing on the cake. Like she's gonna be sweating.
I gotta
bullets.
tell you, I don't know what to expect from her because she is
I don't
the
either.
smartest out of all of them, even including her father.
And
Like
she's
she
not
is.
on trial.
And she's not on trial.
She's just testifying.
So
as a
she could
witness.
go a couple of different ways. She could
Right.
flat out sever the family ties right now and just bomb the shit out of them.
She has
She
been trying
could-
to distance herself from the family. She's changed her name
She
to Kushner.
has,
She's been trying to
exactly.
get away from them. So this might be the moment. Let's
Now,
see.
if she learned anything from Daddy, it's to be cutthroat, but she's clearly smarter than all of the other ones. So she could do that. She could also play as ignorant as she wants because one of the things that they like to talk about is pleading the fifth, right? Well, in a civil case, pleading the fifth doesn't actually save you anything. It actually incriminates you. Yes, you are still
Exactly.
legally allowed to do it, but the jury, or in this case, since they chose to have a bench trial, the judge will hold any inference against you that you choose to plead the fifth against. So
Yep.
she can plead the fifth if she wanted to because she's not on trial. Nothing, but at the same time, anything she says, since this decision was already made,
Mhm.
can be held against the summary judgment. So if she pleads the fifth or not, anything that she says, he can interpret however he wants because that's the trial Alina Habba decided that Donald Trump should have for this.
Oh yeah, we're getting to her.
It's
here in
all
a
coming
minute.
back to that. I got to tell you, all of this is going to come
Yeah.
back. I think
All right.
that they did this so that could be their appeal. Be like, oh, she was dumb. I need a new trial.
And this, all right. So I'm just gonna play this next video real quick because I'm not even sure how this exists.
Oh,
Like I almost feel bad for playing it, but
just
we're brutal on this show. So that's Eric Trump's wife.
he knew exactly which one to give her. She didn't say no. She was like,
That is not her assistant.
just-
That is
yeah,
it.
that's not like her glam team. Well, I mean, maybe it is. Do you think she like does makeup on him? Again, I'm not judging that, but like something
I
tells
would
me
say
that their
that's
relationship is based on the fact that she knows he's the shittiest, dumbest, weakest of Trumps, and he's the first one that's likely to go to jail, and she could hopefully inherit things. So like, I think she just already has got him in the place that he deserves to be fair. Like, to be honest,
Right. So tomorrow,
because that's all he's
could
good
be
for.
I mean, they've already, I think, nailed their own coffin shut. But tomorrow, woo, man,
I pour
his daughter
concrete.
could show up with a nail gun. Just pop, 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 pop.
Let me tell you,
I mean, she
Ivanka
can
does not
literally
pour
just-
concrete.
No, she does not. I mean, she wants to have a future, but I mean, she's eventually this whole $2 billion that her husband got from the Saudis is going to
Yeah.
come back.
It can't
around.
not.
There's no way they're going to avoid that. But
That's the shadiest
like,
thing that's ever happened, like internationally with money.
I know, right? Yeah. As he built a close relationship with the Saudis while his father was president, and the only reason he had access to the Saudis
Is
is because his father was president.
Because otherwise, he was an absolute nobody. He still is a nobody.
Right, and
He's a
he
grifter.
was supposed now. All right, so what, I get back to my point here. The reason she wanted to delay her appearance in court, before I forget, she had the audacity to say, It's a school week. My kids have school, and it's a school week, and it's such a disruption to my life. Oh my God, I wanted to die.
There is
I
no
think I
way
actually
she parents her children. Zero.
no, and the bad part was is all these videos started showing up of them in other countries.
Yes, yeah.
No
One of them was the
kids meet
Saudis.
them.
One of them was her and her husband and like the Prince of Saudi, and it was like this was on a school night.
Yeah, no kids to be
At
found
least say
anywhere.
it's
They probably weren't
parent-teacher
even on the
night.
same continent. They
Like at
probably
least
weren't
be
even on the
clever
same
enough.
Right. Just, I mean, but seriously, exactly though. Even if that wasn't the case, and even if she was a hands-on full-time mom like that, they have nannies. They have people. You know what I mean? They have
Yes, which
private
fine.
jets.
I'm actually not gonna disparage anyone who can afford and chooses to have help raising their children. That wouldn't be
Oh
fair.
God, no! If I could have afforded it
Yeah,
when my kids were growing up, hell yeah, I would have chosen that
but
lifestyle. Believe me, it's a lot easier. I mean, parenting's hard,
this family
but
does
at
it
the same
because they're
time,
not
to
human.
use that as an excuse, right? And it's like the most unfamily family
Yeah,
of all time.
yeah.
This family hates each other. You know what I mean? And
There's no
Donald
like
Trump
love.
always. I have to imagine if Ivanka has any self-respect, like the whole sexualization her father does of her has to bother her. It has to. I mean, we've shown videos before, like the Midas Touch ad, the creepy Trump ad, where all he talks about is like her physical features and that they have sex in common and stuff like just really odd, creepy stuff. So actually, that's a good segue into her dad, because her dad's
Well,
up
did
next.
you ever see the picture of Don Jr. and his kids? And like the three kids, they're little, really little, and they all have faces on them. And this is no joke, so I apologize that I'm kind of making a joke out of it, but they look like they have like actual trauma on their faces. It's a serious picture. Like you don't see it that much. It went around for a little while, but like there's a picture, and like no joke, like one of the boys is standing there like kind of holding his shirt like this, and like none of them have a look of compassion, like they've ever experienced compassion on their face. That's not a family that knows emotion correctly and love.
No, it's probably the only time we're in the same room together is for forced family photos.
For forced family photos and for trial.
It's like the one time a year they hate. They're like, no, do we have to do another one? Damn it.
We got to be near each other.
Their parents are horrible people. We don't want to see them. This is just, how my brain thinks they act.
No, you're right. You're right. It's
but
just...
no, this family does not love one another. And you know what I mean? I hate that they act like they're, and Alina Habba goes around acting like, oh, they had to drag these children.
Oh, his children.
These children. I know. I'm like, you're in their 40s. What are you talking about?
If you are old enough to be indicted on fraud charges, because let's face it, the children haven't been brought up on criminal charges yet, and that might come. But if you're old enough to be indicted on fraud charges for your family business, you're old enough to testify in that trial.
Yeah, like, Alina Habba shouldn't be referring to people older than her as children.
That's oh my God, that's really funny.
You know what I mean?
Oh, man.
Oh, okay. Anyway, so Alina Habba got scolded in court, and she was not happy about it. And as soon as she got the first chance, she
had a little fire in her too. She gets a little animated.
Yeah, I bet you there was a little tear in her eye.
Right to hire a lawyer who can stand up and say something when they see something wrong.
Unless you're wrong.
But I was told to sit down today. I was yelled at, and I've had a judge who is unhinged slamming a table. Let me be very clear. I don't tolerate that in my life. I'm not going to tolerate it.
Okay.
She makes it sound like he jumped up and like lifted the table, and she's like, wow.
So what that was...
And you know what? You shouldn't either.
The numbers are much greater than on the financial statement. And we've already proven that. They said Mar-a-Lago's worth $18 million. Mar-a-Lago's worth anywhere from probably 50 to 100 times more than that.
That's for us.
That just didn't
I'm going to be dealing with right now. You have a racist attorney general who made some terrible statements, and we just see some more that came over the wires today.
The wires? What the hell are you talking about?
I don't know.
So,
like you said, it's just words.
Oh my God.
He has a very limited vocabulary.
Yeah, he just says the
tries to
same
use them all
18
at one
words.
time.
Yeah,
He does.
He
He
does.
tries to just force them out all in one speech.
I want to
It's the
talk
same
about
words.
I want to talk about Alina Habba and like what she was talking about, because it's very important. It shows exactly how they twist every single fact to be
Right.
something negative against them. So she was talking about getting yelled at about not being able to speak. What was actually going on was Donald Trump was asked a question while he was on the stand.
Right.
I don't remember the exact question, but in essence, for sake of argument, it was, what is your favorite sandwich? And Donald Trump, without fail, just started blurting out about a corrupt judge and DOJ and Biden's Justice
Weaponized
Department.
DOJ.
Okay. And Judge Engron was like, stop talking. He basically said to shut up. And Alina Habba was like, Judge, you can't do this. He has a right to speak. And the judge basically said, I'm not here to hear him speak. I'm here to have him answer questions.
Right. Yeah.
So
like
when
yes or
she's
no
paraphrasing, yeah, he said, I'm not here to hear your defendants. He's not like being paid for his time as a guest speaker. It's you sit in the box, you get asked questions about the fraud you committed, and you answer them. If you're going to expound on nonsense, lies, slander, bullshit, and a stochastic terrorism, the judge is going to tell you to shut up. And that's exactly what happened. But no. Oh, the judge was so mean to me. That's because you and your client are actual morons. Actual morons.
She, like you said, she's like a shopping mall, like a strip mall lawyer. I don't know.
She hangs out behind the mall, gives people like cookies with like razor blades in them, and then when they eat it, she's like, "We could sue that cookie company." Like that's the type of lawyer she is.
All right, so we do have some reporting from inside the courtroom from actually it's from MidasTouch.com, and the videos also. I appreciate their reporting. If you guys haven't followed them already, I don't know what your problem is. It's one of my favorite sources of accurate pro-democracy news. It's
well said.
You know, they call it like they see it. They don't both sides the issue. You know what I mean? It is what it is. So inside the courtroom, some things that Donald Trump was saying. So Trump was asked if he received copies of his financial statements in 2021. He responded, "This is great. This is great." He responded by saying he was too busy in the White House dealing with Russia and China. He was reminded then that he was not president in 2021.
Okay, that actually happened. Literally word for word.
That is, yes, this is actual from inside the courtroom. Now, when asked about his property in Aberdeen, Scotland, which was wildly overvalued based on inaccurate statement, there are 2,500 homes. And this is extremely important. Like, I can't believe this is even possible when in fact there was only 1,400 homes. He was asked why the number of homes in the statement did not match up. And this was Trump's response. It's like a painting. I'm sorry. Hold on a second. I can't get through this without laughing, man. This is in court. The land is there. You could do what you you could either do one of them. What about the windmills? Oh, I was not. He hates windmills.
He hates windmills.
Oh my God.
So what he's saying there is, I bought a piece of land.
Yeah.
And I said that on this land, I'm actually gonna, there's gonna be this much commercial or real estate property on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then what he's saying is, when I made that transaction, but then I changed my mind. That's not how like real estate works. Like, it isn't how it works. That's
right.
Not a thing.
And that's why Mar-a-Lago is valued so low, because he signed on. They showed him the deed. They're like, dude, you signed the deed that said, and this is even better, you intend to keep this a resort property. You cannot do he can't develop the land at all. It has to remain as it is. That's why I bought it for so cheap, that's why it's the tax breaks and all that. And Donald Trump's response was, just because you intend to do something doesn't mean you'll actually do it. I'm like, what? How could you say that in a court of law?
It's funny because it actually makes a lot of sense. Hearing him in these scenarios is very interesting because we always know he was stupid. We always know he didn't know what he was talking about, but he's not like a complete moron to the point where he doesn't like have a plan. So what I'm saying is people have spoken and written extensively about how Donald Trump is obsessed with the mob, right? Michael Cohen, others have said he not only worships the mob structure, he believes in his heart that he is this supreme mob boss. Yes. And it's funny because if you listen to how Trump answers these questions, it's exactly how someone who doesn't remember the lines of all the famous mob movies would respond saying those lines. What I mean is if like a mobster's on trial, well, what really is intent there, Your Honor? You know what I mean? So like Donald Trump is too stupid to realize that that's just not reality. That's not it.
No, and actually it's funny because Michael Cohen even said that like his dad taught him, you know, because the mob boss mentality, like just as long as you don't get caught,
you're good.
Do it. Yeah,
deny,
and not get exactly, and that's always been Trump's thing, and he's been involved in I don't even know how hundreds, possibly thousands of cases over his life.
Oh yeah.
He usually wins by delaying to the point where people can't, you know what I mean? Because people usually sue him, don't have as much money as him.
He just waits it out.
He just waits it out.
Wait, you know what the funny part is? How many of those lawsuits would he have lost if he didn't so overflate all of his properties his whole life that he made so much more money than he should have?
Right, exactly. So, and here's a couple things. Like I have a couple of his Truth Social posts, and these posts were because I got these as he was testifying off of. And I hate to admit that I was on there, but it's only for the purposes of the show. I
do research on that hellhole.
Don't hate me. You honestly feel dirty. You almost feel dumber after you've been on it for like 30 seconds or more. So please don't.
I don't.
This is him. This is him whining and bitching, political opponent this, crooked Joe Biden that, election interference in all capital letters. Doesn't anybody get tired of this? Like he has over 5,000, they've been reposted over 5,000 times, has 16,000 likes. Like, don't people get tired of his bullshit over and over again?
Nope.
And then this one is even better. This is even crazier. I think that she's a political hat. President Donald Trump. On Soros-funded AG Letitia James, which is completely untrue and a blatant. I mean, he's been going after her. He's been going after the judge. Like, don't piss. Like, that's like. I think this is why they did not examine Donald Trump. Like his own lawyer, after the prosecutor got done, they didn't even. Like, his own lawyers didn't even try and ask questions after. They were like,
just imagine what's going to happen in Fulton County, Georgia, because Donald Trump can never understand that he is the cause of his own misery. So he is never going to see this experience in New York and go, oh, I am wholly unfit. I will stick both of my feet down my own throat, out my own ass if I go on the stand. He is going to put himself on the stand, and it's going to be spectacular and televised. Anyway.
He's already crumbling under this isn't even criminal prosecution.
Yeah, this isn't criminal. Like, none of these prosecutors are like going at him. When they're talking about treasonous activity, he's going to get eviscerated. They're going to just, and I'm not saying they're going to be screaming and yelling at him. He's a moron. All you got to do is poke him.
Right.
They're going to poke him so hard and so consistently that he is going to lose his absolute shit. His diaper's going to explode. He's going to have one of those back blow-outs, and it's just going to be a freaking mess, and I can't wait for it.
Oh, it's going to be classic. He can't. There's no way this family's going to handle.
No.
They're going to. Yeah. Oh, this is.
And Ivanka's tomorrow. Tomorrow.
Right. And the crazy part is, like you said, there's no prison time threat at this trial. But this is, like I said, this has become my favorite trial because Donald Trump's all about his money. Yeah. His image is so important to him. And we found out now that his image is complete bullshit.
Well, when you're
I can't wait to see the verdict.
When you
let me go ahead and play this last video.
That's all you have is your image.
It's so sad. It's sad in a way, but at the same time, we've elevated this idiot to the highest
level.
Don't be
a shitty monster traitor
country.
Criminal.
Yeah, you crazy? What is wrong with this country? All right, so let me play this last video real quick.
Trump is doing it, not raising his voice, clearly aggravating the judge at multiple
Aggravate?
points. The
What
judge
word
saying
did he
this is
say?
not a
I
political
don't know.
forum. Stop giving speeches. He is striking comments from Donald Trump on the record, and Donald Trump smiling.
Look at Lena Hobbs. She's like,
Yeah.
under the judge's
stop
skin.
trolling me,
We
please.
know
I love
from
how he
our
says he's
reporting
smiling, and they
shown
show
over
a
the last
picture
couple
where
of
he's
days that Donald
freaking
Trump,
miserable.
has grown angry and angrier about this case. We know that he did a prep session last night in Trump Tower
Yeah, he
before
did a
heading
prep
down
session.
to that courtroom.
Yeah.
And as
I
one source
wish
had said to me,
there
Diane,
was
there's
video
gonna
of
be
that
two
prep
Donald
session.
Trumps that
My
show
God.
up. One is just going to answer the
I
question.
will start a
and
GoFundMe and
behave,
pay
or
whoever
the
has a
other guy.
copy
And
whatever
so
they
far,
want.
less than an
If
hour
they-
in, I think the other guy has clearly shown up and is clearly getting under this judge's skin.
I don't
Yeah,
even understand that. That is not accurate reporting in any way.
No.
The
No. I
people with
don't
the
think he
loose
was.
skin are Donald Trump.
Yeah, exactly. So I believe it's over. I mean, and the bad part is, they could have all just pled the fifth because they already got guilty on the big fraud part of it.
Yep. Nothing
what I mean?
they
They
say
could've
is
just
going to
pled
help
the-
them.
No, but everything they say can hurt them, which is
And
the
they
best
can't
part of
help
this.
it. They're so predictable. It's pathetic.
And I
Ugh.
saved the best piece of this for last. This is also what Donald Trump said in court today, and this will be the last part of the show before he closes out. This is the best. Oh my God. All right. So the question to Donald Trump was, who within the Trump organization was responsible for preventing and detecting fraud? Donald Trump. Everybody.
He literally just threw himself and his entire family under the bus. That is going to go down in history as the dumbest thing ever said in court.
Oh my God. I wish Alina Hava would have been like, wow, just banging her head on her desk.
That was the moment to just get up and walk out, cut your losses.
I would have resigned. I would have
horse.
sent a final bill and been like, I am out.
That's when you take your law degree, you tear it up, and you go, I'm going to go and be a crab fisherman or something.
I can't believe I
No offense to crab fishermen who need way more intelligence than that person.
Yes. So, all right, guys. Thanks for watching, everybody. That'll be all for tonight. We have some more content coming this week and another hour-long, our main episode coming up this Sunday at 2 p.m. Please like and subscribe. We're fully independent, obviously. We do all our own research, all our own producing. So any help is appreciated. And like always, we will talk to you soon. Have a good night.